Fair enough. Even if he's awkward around others, he does have a genuine want to be around them and offer them a piece of his self that he values. What Louie told me yesterday rings in my ear. I think you get on well with others, huh? She always did say I was usually curious. Sorry if that was a little mean-deering. Does this answer your question? It does, thank you. I also had another question, actually. Oh, what that might be. Or why might be that? Do you have any college brochures or guides? It's about time to get started getting some applications in. He nods and bends down to look inside his desk. He does so. I notice that he's wearing a remarkably genuine smile. I don't think I ever seen him act like this natural around others. Perhaps this isn't Mature the teacher, but rather Mature the person. Here, if you need any more, feel free to ask. He hands me about half of the dopes and brochures and booklets about various colors and sizes, which I take eagerly. Yes, it will be this information which I use to form my own future. I think now, after all this time, all these trials, I can finally start seeing the big picture of my life ahead of me. My body may be like this, but my mind is still much able. Thank you. That was interesting. I like it. Interesting. I like it. Let's see. I'm excited for this. This is strange. That single thought has graced my mind countless number of times since my life here began. It feels like an easy way to discard a troubling question, as simply labeling something with those 3 words will make it go away, or at least not worth thinking about any further. My life before my heart attacks feels blurry every time I try to remember it, and my mind struggles to keep up with all the events suddenly happening around me since. I hear somewhere that is this what it feels like to be left stranded in a country with almost the most basic understanding of the local language. Indeed, when I think about it, it seems marvelously apt analogy for what happened to me. But such teaching answers are supposed to make you very capable in the language very fast. You are forced to learn it in order to survive. Put another way, the situation becomes sink or swim. I wonder if I really managed to swim after all this time. But the exams are stressing me out, even though they're fairly coming to an end. But I have remained in Muto's favor, have some sort of direction for my future now. But I keep using that same stupid, meaningless phrase. This is strange. It really is amazing how fast one comes to accept that being surrounded by people with sometimes create jarring disabilities and conditions. So much that I really wonder, why do I feel like such a foreigner? It certainly isn't for lack of socialization or friends. I come to know most of my classmates on first name terms, and now a few others around the school, whether they're missing an arm or a leg, or students who are just like anyone else of their age. I can navigate the halls that once I lost myself in with ease I would not expect to ever have, thanks to the school logical layout, and can engage my teachers in comfortable discussions. I swirl around gently in my teacup, the reflecting image of my face becoming distorted by the moving liquid. This is strange. I used to hate drinking tea. Maybe I'm thinking too much. The familiar sound of china rattling from the teacup, touching the accompanied saucer, rings out. Is something the matter? Don't worry about it, it's nothing. I take a long sip of the tea in front of me, as the girls do, just willing away the time and Lily's from sipping tea with her and Hanako. It feels familiar, almost nostalgic. So how's your work in the newspaper club going, Hanako? I want to know too, it sounds like it will be quite interesting. Hanako's face turns down at the attention placed upon her, though her smile belies the fact that she generally likes being the center of interest for the two of us. It's good. I think I'm getting better at it. Naomi and a couple of her friends handle most of the jobs, getting stories and stuff. I just do computer things like putting the stories together and getting it printed. It's nice since I can sit and concentrate. I see Lily's low-tech nature isn't shared by Hanako. While sitting in the room compiling other people's newspaper article into documents doesn't strike me as overly outgoing, it is heartening to see her widening her circle of friends. Baby steps, I guess. It's probably a bit much to be expecting for her to become a social like Lily. How are you finding Naomi? I heard she can be quite troublesome at times. And Lily's going into her mother mode over Hanako, letting go of her something she had to learn. Hanako scratches her cheek, thinking on her answer. Naomi's nice. She's a bit loud sometimes and a bit tiring, but she's really helpful. Her friends are nice too. That's wonderful to hear, Hanako. I'm glad you found a source of such enjoyment. Lily's smile is warm and genuine, but I can sense a touch of wistfulness to it as well. Hanako seems to miss that entirely, but I don't think for a second that I'm imagining it. I suppose it's because I slowly come to pay more and more attention to everything going around me. With things seemingly happening faster and faster, it feels like I'll miss something if I'm not as observant as possible. With the exam, my newfound love of life, trying to fit in some studying regarding my options for college and university, and my heart condition and applying to the brakes on everything and everything random times, my brain's been in overdrive recently. It makes me appreciate the rare quiet times such as these. I guess this is why Lily came to appreciate her weekly walks to the convenience stores and her tea parties with Hanako. Despite her like of being surrounded by others, they gave her a moment of peace in a chaotic and busy life. Thank God exams are over, huh? The comment draws the earnest chuckle from both of the girls. It seems like everyone's been happier since the exams ended last week. So what are you doing for summer holidays, Hanako? I quickly count the days in my head. Today's Monday, school finishes Sunday. 5 days to go after all. I was thinking of traveling just around a bit. There's a lot of places I want to see, and I think I have enough money to pay for the bus and train rides. Naomi and one of the other girls in the newspaper said club said they might come along too. Her look indicates she's giving the matter quite a lot of thought, and I'm kind of surprised that she's contemplating something like this. Seems like she's really become intent on striking out on her own. Is there anywhere in particular you're thinking of going? I was thinking that Kyoto sounds nice. I think I'll try to go a few places though. Lily nods in approval, happy with Hanako's plans. While I cast my eyes to Lily's, I refrained from asking her the same question. She's been evasive with her plans for the future for a long time now, but I never seem to get a good time to broach the subject alone with her. Every time it comes up in conversations, it feels like she's either unsure of herself or simply dodging the question. It's troubling. Be sure to call sometime while you're out and about. I gave you my number before, right? Hanako gives me a quick nod and a happy smile on her face. It's strange to see how happy people seem to become when they have a goal to work towards. Yuko seems to be bright whenever her university aspirations are brought up, and now Hanako is just the same. So why do I still feel this uncertain, and why Lily too? Relationships really can be irritating, troublesome time. What time is it? Takes me a second to remember that Lily's club doesn't have a visual feedback. I really should know, given the many times I've been in her room. Nevertheless, I take my watch from my bag, quickly checking the reason for her asking becoming clear. It's about 20 past 10, nearly curfew. Hanako rises to her feet, dusting herself out, kneading her gown. After doing so, I better get going. I better be going. Then, good night, Lily. Hasao. Sleep well, Hanako. See you tomorrow. With that, she walks to the door and quietly makes her exit. Silence. This seems to be happening more and more between Lily and I. Recently, after a few seconds, I finally find something to talk about. Oh yeah, I talked to Motoro on Friday and I finally checked out some guys on college and how to apply for it. That's good news. If you're going to be applying for college, I assume you have an idea in mind of what you might want to do in the future. I think I'm settling on becoming a science teacher. It's going to take a while to get through the university and everything to be qualified, but I think it'll be worth it. Lily's face brightens considering the news. I suppose with her wish to become a teacher, she's decided to take the same kind of path. So you decided on a career of teaching. I think that path suits you most excellently, Hasao. I smile and nod this time, even if no, she can't see, even this time. Wait, let me try. I smile and nod this time, even if I know she can't see me doing it. I know she feels it. I imagine Motoro would have taken the news to you as well. That's one word for it. Hey, Lily. Yes? I didn't want to be a teacher, but for a second I wondered whether I should ask you a question on mine, but quickly brushed aside by the fact that it's rather late to have a second thoughts. Surely you don't still think being offended by something regarding my blindness. Her accusing tone is betrayed by her grinning face. By the awkwardness in my raising the topic, some things never change. Good point, I guess. I was just thinking whether or not being blind would be a hindrance with your ambitions to become a teacher and all. She looks mildly surprised before giving the question some thought. I refuse to think she's never actually pondered on this issue before. I wonder, Hisao, could you close your eyes for a moment? Okay. Raising an eyebrow, I do as she requested. I have no idea what she has in mind, and my questions only increase as I peek out from one eye. Taking the black ribbon she usually wears in her hair from her cabinet beside her, she advanced towards me while running through the fingers and removed any stray hairs reminding a piece of cloth. Oh, she covered my eyes. I slowly click onto her intentions. I feel a black strip make contact with my face, wrapping around my head over my eyes. What is exactly this for? It's a little test, Hisao. Since you seem to be wondering, I'll let you see things as I do for a time. So that's what this is about. To be honest, it actually sounds kind of fun, childish, and rather silly to anyone who will be watching, but it's a bit silly. It's a bit silly fun, never hurt anyone. I stand up with heat, my hands quickly moving in front of me and warn me of any obstacles. Okay, now what? Now touch me. If you say so. Now then. So I make my way towards the sound of Lily's voice. My walking speed could barely even be called a shuffle, and the distractions been feeling alien enough that I don't want to risk inadvertently tripping over anything, such as her table or her hazardous pile of books. Something soft yet solid brushes against my left leg, and further reveals that it's Lily's bed. I moved onwards, finding myself thankful that Lily's room is so neat and tidy. Even when the pile of books she has gently kept close to the wall, well out of harm's way. The hard wall pressing against my outstretched hands makes me furrow my brow in frustration. Hey Lily, where are you? What are you doing over there? I'm over here. Lily's voice come from the other side of the room, far from where it was before. Even to my untrained ears, if she's going out of her way to avoid reaching her, then is this just a game just her? Of course it is. Compared to a life where even the concept of sight is actually one, a few moments in the blindfold are nothing. I guess she's made her point. She's more than capable of navigating her room, and further, I've seen how independent she is even when compared to many others in Yamako. Well, even if it's just a game, I might as well play it wholeheartedly. With a pace much quicker than I moved the source of her voice, deftly sidestepping to the table in the center of her room, thanks to remembering its position. I got you now. She gets an impulse scale of 1 just long enough to work out that she's passing just beside me. I quickly turn around and face in the direction the table wasn't there before. Ow, ow, ow. I slowly sit up next to the table, raising my blindfold as I roll up my aching head. I give an irritated kick to the table as sitting just in front of where I felt, utterly pointless, but the thing deserved it. As how? Lily's still standing just on my side, obviously unsure what's befallen me. Sorry, I kind of fell over. Are you hurt? My hair hurts, but I think I'm okay. I think the table moved in order to trip me over. She walks over and takes the seat beside me, her hand resting on my own. I suppose that's the end of that then. I think so. Also, I think I get the point though. I do wish it hasn't involved such a headache. Lily suddenly looks blank. Point? I returned to the extraordinary flat look. That was just for fun? I thought it might ease you up a little bit about the subject. You always seem to tiptoe around it after all. In regards to teaching, sight isn't important. There are plenty of classes taught by entirely blind teachers, and more than enough resources for me to learn the subject. It's as simple as that, really. I saw my shoulders and gave a snort of amusement. Yeah, I understand. I guess we'll both just have to work hard to reach our goals then. What is it? With a little hesitation, Lily pushes forward her chin and closes her eyes in a unmistakable gesture. And a kiss comes. Yeah! I accept gladly, our lips touching. As they do, I suddenly feel her hands snaking up my chest from underneath my shirt, then feeling her hand against my bare skin is enough to make my heart suddenly accelerate. So she's in that kind of mood again. Well, I'm hardly one to complain. She does generally like this, and even with all my medications, my libido is thankfully still intact. I mean, I lean to kiss further, holding her hand tightly as I feel tracing the contours of my chest. Eventually, we break off from one another in the room silent but for our breathing. Hey, Hisao. Yeah? I don't suppose you could wear the blindfold again. Her tone suggests it takes me by surprise. I suppose she wants to introduce me to sex through her eyes as well, or just wants to find out what it'll be like during the act hampered by the blindfold. Okay, we do this. With a measure of unease tempered by curiosity, I do as she says and lower the blindfold over my eyes. The world becomes dark once again. I reflectively tense as I feel Lily's hand gently brush aside my face, entirely unable to anticipate her touch. I really do need to get more used to contact like this. Even after a week we've been going out, this isn't as natural for me as it is for her. Silence? Hey Lily. Shh. I obediently follow her instructions and quietly listen, trying to make out anything that's happened around me. Compared to before when I was chasing Lily, the need to carefully navigate the room's obstacles now is gone. I can take my time and concentrate much harder on listening. It takes a while, but I can eventually pick out the soft sound of her breathing in the otherwise dead silent room. In, out, in, out. Measuring it against my own breathing, I realize definitely deeper than normal, especially for her. Another sound makes its way to my ears, one that I can't identify immediately. I don't think I heard it before, but my heart skips a beat as I realize the source of my hand almost reflectively reaching out towards her. Her face feels softer than usual under my touch, her hip just barely turning in acknowledgement towards the fingers on her cheek. That's how. I go up and take a moment to try to calm down. I need all the concentration I can muster while I am like this in order to fully take in my surroundings. After a few deep breaths, I think I managed to collect myself. With a touch of light that it wouldn't disturb a feather, I started to move my hand down her body. And I can feel myself losing focus again, thanks to those thin silken pajamas of her resting so perfectly over the curves of her body. If she is like this, then that means she has to be sitting against her bed and facing me. Now to continue. Alright, this must be her hip. And I just move slowly downwards. And we got shrimp! Ladies and gentlemen, delicious shrimp. $2 for the price of 10 shrimps. So you get 10 shrimps for the price of $2. More. I want more. Shit. Uh-oh. I can feel my chest tightening as I rock back and forth, practically both of us entirely taking it with ourselves. Nothing that unusual. I just need to take deeper breaths to steady myself. This feeling is just normal. This pain is too much. I stumbled backwards from Lily's with a silly hassle, clumsily hitting the back of my foot against the table and falling to the ground with an unceremonious crash. Breathing wildly, I finally scraped off the rim over my eyes and laid on my back. I had to get this off. For a moment, breathing goes blank, and the rush of newfound light assaults my light. My breathing slows from the brink of hyperventilation. Seconds pass and I carefully measure out the rhythm of my heartbeats with every ounce of concentration I can muster. My heart is normal, it's back to normal. My body feels utterly bizarre as I lay dazed on the floor looking at the ceiling. The adrenaline from before is still pouring through my veins, but my mind's completely exhausted. I prop myself up as I hear Lily getting off the bed and coming towards me. Hasao, are you okay? Hasao? I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. She gets a sigh of release, her worried expression collapsing. Her face afterwards, and the very last I never want to see her face. Her face afterwards, the very last I ever want to see from her, is a face I detest. Oh, here comes a bird. Ha! Detested when I first saw my parents in the hospital all those months ago. Pity. Lily pities me. I just close my eyes and turn away. Powerless, I feel like throwing up. I can hear the sound of Lily moving away and quickly attending to herself, the ruffling of her clothes being pulled back after the moment of searching just barely audible. Sorry. She slowly shakes her head and she finishes buttoning up her top. Her kind smile looks so fragile, so delicate that it makes my heart sink. Approaching carefully, she feels out of the edge of the low table before taking a seat next to me, putting her arms around my chest. I'm sorry, Hasao. I shouldn't have pushed my desires onto you. You don't need to apologize. I know we'd be fine. You've seen that much before. I just shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. My eyelids feel heavy. Calmly sitting next to her, this is probably letting adrenaline work itself out of my system and letting my mind relax. So that's why you never took the lead? Yeah, I guess it's a good thing you like to, huh? The joke seems to line her expressions a little. The fact that which helps me feel less unease about my unreliable self. Lily's head comes to rest on my shoulders as I struggle to keep my eyes open with more difficulty after each blink. I feel completely drained. It's okay, Hisao. It's all okay. No sooner does she say this than the small quiet tune escapes her lips. Entirely too tired to think. All I can do is listen to her soft humming. It's soft, almost melancholic tune. It sounds familiar, but the more I try to remember its origin, the less I seem able to concentrate. The feeling in her and the scent of her head gently resting on my shoulder and her warm body against my side are soothing. The soft humming of her voice too relaxes my mind as much as her warmth relaxes my muscles. This singular quiet moment after all this fracas, it makes me realize just how exhausted I've become. I can feel my eyelids slowly becoming heavier and heavier. Even with the chaos before, I wish this moment would last forever. Lily and I together sharing a single solitary occasion together, just as we used to. But if that's the case, why does she feel further away than she ever felt before? I hope Lily doesn't dump my ass, because I can't apparently keep a long, nice day of sex. Lily, please, I can punch you from behind. You wouldn't know it was me without me saying a word. Be a little bit respectful of that, please. The low cloud of books falling into the return slot barely breaks the grip of silence over the school library. It's become a habit for me to come to the library at least once a week. Not only does reading itself keep me busy, but discussing books with Hanako and Lily also does. Obviously, Sora Yuko suddenly twists towards the direction of the noise. I have thought her used to people dropping books by now, since she doesn't work here. Oh, hello, Sal. Back again? It takes me a moment to respond, my mind still distracted by the inflamed melody of Lily's humming that's hardly left in my ears in the several days spent since I fell asleep to it. Oh yeah, just returned some books I borrowed. She cast her eyes downward, pursuing into the bin the books dropped into. You're a very heavy reader. You're a very heavy reader, aren't you? It's become a bit of routine now. Passes the time at least. I wish I had free time to pass. From small talk to depression in less than 5 seconds. I think that's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has worked 2 jobs just to support herself, I could see how that could take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the payoff for a job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I probably never manage. You're lucky being a student. Do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking, then I guess that's expected results of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess I have the money, I think. I got plans which were required to go into one, and my marks aren't good enough. It's a matter of how I paid to do so. University costs so much that I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expenses too makes it a lot harder. If you're reading this much though, that means you're doing well in school, right? Interesting logical jump, not altogether wrong one though. I suppose so. I didn't find any other exams very hard aside from maybe 1 or 2. Do you mind if I ask what studies are you pursuing at university? Yuko appears to be genuinely bright at the question. Anthropology. To be specific, I'm specializing in the history of classical era Athenian civilization and democracy. She really seems to know her stuff. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. I guess even somebody like Yuko can be happy. If she has a visible road ahead of her. Oh, Buffalo jump at the sudden interrupt. What the fuck was that? Was I supposed to say something beforehand? Okay. If you Buffalo jump at the sudden coming from pocket. Apologizing profusely, I quickly shuffle into the hallway as I fumbled with the cover of my mobile phone. I glanced at the screen. Weird, it's a number I don't recognize, considering that I can count the numbers of people in my number. Wait, repeat this again? Whoa. Let's get some water here. Awesome. Weird, it's a mobile number I don't recognize, considering I can count the number of people with my number on one hand. I briefly wonder whether it's the telemarketer that locked out. Hello, Hisao, Nakai speaking. Jeez, pick up faster anytime. Anyways, guess who? It only takes me a second to recognize his simply deep, Bruce voice. Hey, Misha, didn't expect you to call me. Huh? You actually think I sound like her? Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving you my number, though. I thought so I messed with you. Oh, that? I got Lily to give me the number. Not hard. She positively brings her pride at the statement. She's trying to get me caught up in her pace now. I know it. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number, though, given how close they are. So what's up? You free right now? I guess. Why? Can you meet me at the park town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. Is that an invitation to a date? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen. Her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left, it seems strange for her. Anyways, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kind of now-ish. What, right now? But it's... This time is coming through the phone announcing that she has unceremoniously hung up. For a long time, I just stand there staring at call ending messages on the screen, replying to the conversation in my head. What the hell, Kira? Throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I learned to pace myself on such walks mostly because Lily's slower speed during our forays into town. I mean, to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to be immediately prompt. It only takes a couple of seconds to spot her waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. The look she gives me as I walk out lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with that look? I need not have come, you know. I knew you would. You're the kind of person after all. I lower my brow at her remark as she disposes her can empty by the time I arrived at the metallic clatter rings out. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench and I follow her lead. She takes another can of beer from beside her and opens before speaking. Taking a large gulp, she seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather, who is it about? I heard from Lily that you asked about our family. They share more than phone numbers, for sure. I would probably be worried about right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Out of curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I never had guessed you two were half Scottish. She gives me a wry chuckle of amusement. I heard that before, trust me. The small smile falls from her face, her eyes looking ahead distantly. Aside from the occasional couple talking as they slowly walk manually past, the odd aging car is pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything, though, did she? It was pretty brief. Her parents live in Scotland, she hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprising me how devoted she is to our parents for all the good they did us. The way she says sounds almost the rest of it? I don't know how to say that. She gives a small sigh as to quickly brush the feelings away. Why do you think they left us, Hal? Why do I think they left? From what Lily told me, it was because of work. I guess I'm pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way your parents seem to live. So Lily went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with airs and graces of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Inverness boomed, our father decided to move directly to the same city as his headquarters. That's just a conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamako Academy, I always felt that place was kind of creepy, like an isolated hideaway for those proper society doesn't work to see nor hear. They just probably felt rude the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to shove their... They probably just ruled the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left. Alon silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamako. Lily's blind is hardly something that could be simply ignored, for a high-class family tend to keep up appearance, much less so a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gets a derisive snort, her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure a financial future with his job posting, even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I gently tried to steer the discussion. So you stay in Japan with Lily then? Either I stayed with her or she went to live with an alien grandmother and a grandfather. What about Shisuma's family? If you're cousins, then our fathers hate each other. I have been more than happy to tell you go to screw. I would have been more than happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyways, but Lily wouldn't have wanted that. Also, I had an offer for a job by then. I can't even read today. I would also had an offer. So we are okay, cool. I also had an offer for a job by then. So we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape and tried to continue our lives if they never left.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you guys really enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It shows your support. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, then subscribe so you never miss a video. Woo!